I don't know if you guys heard about this fatal jump rope, but we're about to check this out. This was on June 13th, 2026. Woman's horrific fatal jump rope triggers homicide charges. So let's check it out. I didn't really read too much into the case, so I guess we'll figure out our information about it here.
Video that has left social media and the world in shock. A young woman seemingly being tossed off an
What the
abandoned
hell?
bridge in Brazil without a safety cord in
I
a
was about to
rope
say, I
jumping
don't
incident gone
see
horribly wrong. She falls 130
anything
feet
connected to
and
her.
dies. Now, 3 people have been
Wow.
arrested and charged. The federal government is also being blamed. We are bringing
Not the
on a
government.
Brazilian criminal defense attorney
Oh,
to
shit.
determine whether anyone will be held responsible and to ask, how on earth could something like this happen? Welcome
the
to
fuck?
Sidebar, presented by Law and
Oh yeah, we
Crime.
gotta we
I'm
gotta
Jesse
figure this
Weber.
out.
I'm sure you've seen this on your social media pages, unfortunately. This horrible, horrible video from June 13th of a woman being thrown off an abandoned bridge 130 feet down to the ground, and she ends up
Wow.
dying in this rope jumping incident gone terribly wrong. And now, 3 people, 3 apparent instructors, have been arrested. They are facing criminal charges. This is the story. This is the case of 21-year-old Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas, plunged to her death on Saturday at the Ponte do Esqueleto. Now, this is a bridge in Limeira. It's a city over 90 miles north of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, this is known as the Skeleton Bridge. It hasn't been in operation for about 30 years. It was
Oh
apparently
wow.
part of a rail line. When you see the video, okay, she appears to be wearing a helmet, a harness, but she wasn't attached to any
What the
safety
fuck?
equipment or rope. While the instructors, based on reporting, and maybe arguably you can see in the video, do seem to be attached to a safety rope. And if that is true, that's going to be a
Wow.
key component in this legal case. Maria Eduarda had apparently asked to be tossed from the bridge in this airplane Superman pose, so 2 instructors allegedly carried her onto the diving platform and then allegedly threw her over the edge. The video that is circulating is just awful. People in the background can reportedly be heard screaming, "The rope, people, the rope," or
Are you serious? Wow. So you already got a couple of red flags. The rope is lying there on the ground. Second, you're supposed to be an instructor, so you're supposed to make sure that in a situation like this, something dangerous like this, that all the safety precautions were taken, and obviously they weren't. This shit was planned. This is crazy. Who does shit like this? Then people in the background screaming, saying the rope's not attached. Like this is some demonic shit right here.
guys, the rope. The videos posted on social media by the group allegedly organizing some of the jumps, Entre Cordas, show what was supposed to happen. Persons attached to a rope with a harness is either tossed or jumps off the
Wow.
bridge, swinging back and forth. There's an apparent eyewitness, Igor Denez, told outlet EPTV that he was on the bridge, saw people panicking after they let go of Maria Eduarda. Quote, there were a lot of people there, not just a few. There were many people at the site. There were children there too, and they saw it happen. Some of the children were only 6
Oh,
years
wow.
old. It was a very intense scene. People panicked. Some who were further back grabbed their belongings and started leaving.
Oh,
In
that's
fact, according
scary.
to the media outlet Thought Catalog, Denez said it was supposed to be him, not Maria Eduarda, who was up next.
Wow.
And I got to call this out too. It's just incredibly sad. Before this happened, Maria Eduarda posted to her Instagram showing herself on the bridge, writing in the caption, "Who was the crazy person who let me come jump off a bridge?" She also posted a sign near the bridge that warned of dangerous conditions, highlighting that the area was not a safe one. According to MSN, Brazil's military police claim that 2 of the suspects here ran from the scene into a wooded area once it
Wow.
became apparent what had happened. They were apparently found by helicopter. Another had been arrested as well. So you're talking about 3 people here. Outlet 30 UOL Anos reports that 2 of the suspects changed their clothes too. According to G1 Globo, they have been identified as Luis Felipe Feliciano Egoroff, 32 years old, Metropolis reports that, according to the military police, he is a civilian firefighter. There is
What?
Vitor de Freitas Gonçalves, 27 years old. Metropolis reports that his work permit indicates he's a tour operator. And then there's Macon Fernandez Sintra, 42 years old. Again, this outlet reports he works with a film post-production company. According to O Globo, they didn't have a reason why this young woman was apparently not secured properly. G1 Globo reported that the suspects also appeared disoriented. They couldn't say whose job it was, whose responsibility it was.
My thing is, like, okay, accidents happen, but an accident like this shit don't make no sense. It's something as dangerous as bungee jumping or skydiving or anything where a person is literally falling hundreds and thousands of feet from the sky to the ground. An activity like this, it has to be safety precautions. Who fucking forgets to tie the rope to the person?
Attach the rope or explain why a safety check, a safety inspection apparently wasn't done beforehand. All right, real quick, I know this is a little bit of a 180, but for anybody out there who's running a business, you know it's tough enough. The question is, why make it harder doing things?
Want to strengthen your math skills? Try Brilliant. It's an effective and fun way to learn, built for the way your mind actually
All right, come
works.
on, add,
Every lesson is visual and
add.
interactive, so the math makes sense.
Bar. Now, according to Bachi Noticias, one of these individuals arrested allegedly told police he didn't realize that Maria Eduarda hadn't been secured and only understood what had happened when he heard the people screaming. That's when he claims he left the platform, saw what happened, claims he rappels down, sees police, sees a healthcare professional performing life-saving measures. Actually, that's another chilling aspect of this story. According to TMZ, a nurse identified as Reza Diaz, who apparently tried to save Maria Eduarda, told local news that she was still alive after
What?
hitting the ground.
Oh,
And we've seen other reports that Maria Eduarda was pronounced dead at the scene, that her body was transported to the Legal Institute. This is according to the Daily Mail. So 6 people were ultimately detained at first. They were questioned, 3 were released, and then the 3 that I just mentioned before, they were ultimately charged. Now, I've seen this one of 2 ways. I've seen them being charged with homicide with implied malice. 30 UOL Anos reporting that that means there's no direct intention to kill, but the risk of death is assumed. So I'm wondering, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, I'm wondering if that's kind of like when you look at second-degree murder in certain cases where it's like, you know, there's an extreme indifference to human life, or manslaughter. It's a reckless disregard for the apparent risk, for the known risk. I want to, again, talk about that with a Brazilian lawyer we're going to bring on. But outlet G1 said that they were charged with homicide with eventual intent. So that's another way of looking at it. It's possible there's some variance in translation. But these are the 3 reportedly in the video. And G1 reports, though, that the 3 cases have now been converted to preventive detention. Seems the men are currently detained, currently locked up. Again, we're bringing on this Brazilian lawyer who's going to make sense of this in just a moment. To be clear about something, I don't know if there's been misreporting about it, but this is not bungee jumping, okay? This is rope jumping. It's different. Bungee jumping uses elastic cords that result in a bounce up and down motion. Rope jumping is this extreme sport that uses different cords, ropes, and it creates this horizontal.
key word, ropes. Key fucking word. You can clearly see that thick ass rope attached to the person. Like, come on.
Pendulum swing at the very end. According to 30 UOL Anos, only bungee jumping has a protocol that's registered with ABNT. This is Brazilian Association of Technical Standards. There are strict requirements regarding who can sell or purchase bungee cords. Delegate Andrea Dantas Levy told the Globo outlet that the company operating this rope jump, quote, didn't even have authorization to be there, and that this was the result of a failure to verify and supervise the placement of the rope on Maria Eduarda's jump.
Wow.
G1 reports that in the video, the men carrying her appear to be wearing shirts that are emblazoned with the brands Entre Cordas and Evoy. Authorities say these are informal groups of rope jumping practitioners. There's no official company behind this operation.
Crazy.
According to Thought Catalog, the tickets for this rope jumping experience range from about 130 to 180 reais, roughly $25 to $32. There were even future dates that were scheduled at even higher prices. And on the day that Maria Eduarda died, it was expected that about 100 people would jump. Now, in the aftermath, Thought Catalog reports that both organizations have deactivated their social media accounts. There is a lawyer for the operators that said while rope jumping isn't regulated, like I said, in the same way that bungee jumping is, it's not illegal per se. It's not against the law per se. Now, lawyers for the suspects told the G1 outlet that these individuals were highly experienced, that this had been the organization's only death in years. According to NBC News, a defense lawyer said the suspects are in shock at what happened. Also, we talk so much about the video, right? The video that's circulating around social media. According to 30 UL Anos, Maria Eduarda was reportedly holding a camera as well, but it hasn't been found. Some reports indicate it was a GoPro-style camera. Interesting when you think about what evidence there could be there. According to G1, a witness claims the instructors had failed to perform the proper safety check. Reports say that the thick rope that was supposed to be used to secure Maria Eduarda was tangled up on the ground, and you can arguably see it lying there in parts of the video. There is also another legal development in this case we have to talk about. According to 30 UL Anos, the municipality of Limeira may file a legal action against the federal government over alleged negligence in maintaining and controlling access to the Skeleton Bridge. The city government reportedly said it had previously sent letters to the federal government requesting security inspections of this bridge. Mayor Murilo Felix reportedly stated that the risks of this bridge were already known to authorities, that this bridge reportedly has a history of accidents, including a cyclist falling from the bridge and dying in 2024. Last year, 2 other people were reportedly injured. By the way, the mayor posted on social media, and this is per reporting from Fox, quote, "A young woman of just 21 lost her life in a tragedy that should never have happened. More than sorry, action must be taken so that no other family has to go through such pain." And before we even get into the legal aspects of all this and the investigation, I just want to take a moment to talk about Maria Eduarda Rodrigues de Freitas. She had been living in Jandira. This is the metropolitan region of Sao Paulo. She was a recent graduate with a degree in physical education and sports management. She was very into fitness and physical activity. She was active on social media. According to Thought Catalog, she had a fiance as well who reportedly became physically ill when he found out what happened to her. Family, friends, they have described this tremendous loss online. A family member reportedly posted on Instagram, "Until now, I don't believe it. I love you so much. I'll never forget you from our jokes. I'll always remember you. I love you so much, princess." Another friend posted on Instagram that Maria Eduarda was a, quote, beautiful young woman full of dreams and now interrupted plans. According to NBC News, Maria Eduarda's mother posted a statement on social media too. This is per local reporting, quote, "My beloved daughter, today alone I wanted to hug you more than 1,000 times. How much your departure hurts me. I love you eternally, my princess, and thank you so much for being a part of my life for these 21 years. What an honor it was to hear you call me mom. God, thank you for this privilege." Pano Bianco Academia, the physical fitness center where Maria Eduarda had taught, where she worked, said, quote, "Today we said goodbye to a very special person, to our Pano Bianco Silverstone family. Maria Eduarda left her mark through the dedication, affection, joy, and respect with which she treated everyone around her. Your presence illuminated the environment, and your memory will remain forever in our hearts. In this moment of deep sorrow, we join together in prayer and solidarity with family, friends, and colleagues, wishing strength and comfort to face this loss. May the good memories, shared moments, and the love left by her be a source of peace and comfort. Rest in peace, Maria Eduarda." And then there was a later post that said this gym, this fitness center, would suspend its activities, quote, as a sign of respect and mourning. Maria Eduarda was reportedly buried on Sunday. All right, so I want to bring on somebody who has expertise in the law in this region. I'm joined once again by Adriele Barca, Brazilian criminal defense attorney. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this. First of all, this is a story that everybody is now talking about. It went on social media. So many people have seen the video. A lot of major outlets here in the States are talking about it. How many people are talking about it in your area? Is it a story that in Brazil is getting a lot of attention?
Yes, everyone is talking about it. not only because of the accident, but because of the commentary on the victim's body after she passed.
Mm.
So it's been talked about a lot.
When you say that,
You say
the commentary on her
commentary.
body, what do you mean?
There has been a lot of sexist commentary about the
What?
fact that she was a young girl and people talking about how they wanted to see her body and in the
Really?
Huh?
That's what people
Yes.
that's what people are saying?
What the fuck?
yes, a lot of men talking about it. It's awful.
That's
Sick.
that's an element that I didn't even comprehend. That's an element that I didn't even know was going on. That's disgusting. That's disturbing, to say the least. In light of
Yo, what is
everything that
wrong
now her
with
family
people?
and friends have to deal with, that's the next part.
Yeah.
Putting that to the side for a second, I didn't know about rope jumping. Is rope jumping common in Brazil?
Yes, it's very common.
And it's legal, right? Like a lot of people do it?
Yeah. When you have the proper authorizations, it's legal.
I have less
But
and
we
less
talked about it
faith in
before.
humanity,
The
like,
authorization is a
watching these
little
fucking
bit different
videos,
than
man.
bungee jumping, right? Is bungee jumping more regulated?
No, they're both equally unregulated, actually.
Okay. Do you know if these operators, the people who have been arrested and charged, do you know if they had a license or they had authorization?
Stop watching this ad. Go to Wix and grab your domain name before someone else.
Because I've seen commentary that they weren't authorized.
They didn't. They didn't. They didn't even have a formal company for this.
So is it illegal for them to be doing what they were doing?
Yes, completely illegal.
Do you know how they wouldn't have been stopped or arrested beforehand if what they're doing is illegal? How is it possible they could be doing or allegedly doing these kinds of, selling tickets for it, these kinds of rope jumps, and authorities didn't get involved?
They would have possibly been charged if they were caught doing this, because not only they didn't have a company, they didn't have authorization, but the place where this happened was a scenario of prior accidents of this, so they wouldn't even get that authorization
So-
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it takes a tragic loss for people to realize, like, these motherfuckers is running an illegal organization. Unfortunately, it takes getting to this point for people to be, like, aware that, oh, this shit not even legal.
I'm going to talk about the Skeleton Bridge in a second. I want you to talk to me about what they're charged with. So what exactly are these three individuals charged with? Is it called homicide with implied malice? Or what does that mean?
Yes. They're being charged with homicide. This case, it brings up a very old debate about intent or blame, which is what we call dolo or culpa. They're being initially charged with homicide with the intention to kill somebody, which is homicídio doloso.
So just to be clear, the prosecutors have to prove they had the intent to kill, or is it to say they were so reckless, they knew how risky this was, and they just were negligent, they ignored the risks? I mean, what do they have to prove at trial to convict them?
So here's what's going on. This case has brought a lot of media attention to it. And when this happens, sometimes these cases are
Great
dealt
promotion
with
for your
in a
business.
different way that they would be dealt in other cases. For example, we have many other cases, similar cases of accidents with sports, and those were always dealt with as non-intentional, as negligence, as impericia. In this case, because of the media attention, it's been dealt like it was intentional for them to kill these people, which, as a lawyer, personally, I don't think those apply.
No, it seemed like it was, I mean, based on what's been presented in the reporting, it seems like a horrible, horrible accident, but there's a serious question of how did they not properly secure her, right? I mean, there's a question of if they were seemingly secured and the rope wasn't on her,
Right.
there was a mistake that was made that may be, again, it may be a form of homicide, it may be criminal liability, but I don't know if it's an intent to kill. I guess the question is, what's the difference between what they're charged with now and murder? I mean,
But I just feel like, yeah, there's negligence, but that's too fucking negligent. Like, come on. Like, I don't understand why they would purposefully, you know, try to unalive her. I don't understand that part. But I also don't understand how you could be so negligent and not make sure that she's secured and that the rope is attached to her. Like, I don't understand that either.
Murder? Is that what they're not being charged with murder, right?
No, actually they are, but they shouldn't be.
From the reporting I saw, it said it wasn't murder, but they could be charged with murder. Have they been charged with murder now?
Yes, yes, this is why they are in jail right now. Because when it comes to a case of homicide where there is no blame, where there's negligence, with what you call homicídio culposo, where we talk about the negligence, the impericia, the duty to protect, but the absence of protection, those cases, they are not punishable by prison. You don't get in prison because of this type of crime. So when you don't get in prison for some type of crime, you can't be in preventive detention. That's what's going on right now. There are 3 people in preventive detention because of this crime. And in order to get that preventive detention, they have to charge them initially with homicídio doloso.
What could they be facing if they're convicted? Life in prison?
No. If they are convicted in the terms which they are being investigated right now, it's from 6 to 20 years of imprisonment. But if this is dealt with like any other case of accident, even with consequences like this, with grave consequences like this one, it would be 1 to 3 years of detention with a semi-open or open regime, which means they don't get arrested, they don't go to prison.
Okay. Is it possible they go to trial on these charges and a jury says, no, they shouldn't be found guilty of this. They should be found guilty of a lesser crime? So here in the United States, sometimes somebody who's charged with murder, a jury will look at that and say, it's not murder, we're going to find them guilty of manslaughter, right? It's a lesser charge. Is that something that's possible in Brazil?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what are you envisioning here in terms of a defense? You have 3 different people. I wonder if one is going to say it wasn't my responsibility, it was this person's responsibility. In the video, you see, I think just 2 of them carrying her, or allegedly carrying her out onto the ledge. What do you imagine is going to be the defense for each of these 3 suspects?
You say you can't remember your childhood?
Yeah.
Let me tell you
It was
something
all
important.
their
You
responsibility
can't
at the end of
remember
the day.
most of your childhood.
I imagine that the defense is going to argue that this is a case of culpa, this is a case of homicídio culposo. And why is that? There's a line in criminal doctrine, which is we have dolo eventual and culpa consciente, which is, in one side, you have the intent, but it's not exactly clear. You know that there's a risk and you don't care that
Right.
somebody might die because of that. And in culpa consciente, you have a situation where you know there's a risk, but you hope that is not going to happen. In your conscience, you're clear that you're trying your best to not let that happen. And here's the catch. This is very difficult to prove in court. So when you have any type of doubt, the court has to rule in favor of the defendant. This is why I believe this is going to fall as homicídio culposo, because it's going to be very hard to prove intent in this case. Even though there is a lot of negligence and there were a lot of things that happened in order for this accident to take place, where there should be more responsibility, the government should have blocked the bridge, the police should have been seeing what is going on. If they know that there's always the risk of this accident, that people go there to jump, there should be some kind of security there. The people that wanted to make this jump, they should have at least ordered an authorization. They should have a legal company, at least, and they didn't. every other thing that happened to make this possible, to make this horrible accident possible. But in court, which is what is going to be analyzed actually, is only the fact in that day that led to that accident. So you have federal authorities and state authorities and the police that are going to answer this, and administratively, they're going to answer this in their own companies. But as to the death itself, is going to fall only on the people that were there at the moment, that were carrying her, that should have secured her. And for those people, it's going to be very hard to prove that they had the intent of killing her.
So let me see if I understand this correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong. They've been charged with murder in order to keep them detained. But if this goes to trial, there's a possibility they will not be found guilty of murder because there's not that intent to kill. They could be found guilty of something less, and they may not get prison time.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
When would a trial happen? And is it in front of a jury or is it in front of a judge?
If this was from the beginning treated as homicidio culposo, there wouldn't be a jury. They would be only a judge. But since it is being dealt with under the homicidio doloso, they are going to face a jury.
And is it unanimous? It has to be a unanimous jury? And how many jurors
No.
are there?
It doesn't have to be unanimous.
I thought one of the key aspects of this case is the allegations of escape, that two of them had allegedly ran into the woods. How do you see that? Is that, they were panicking, they didn't know what was going on, or can a prosecutor say that's evidence of their guilt? That's evidence of they knew what they did was a crime. How do you see it?
As far as I can see it, I understand that, of course, they knew what happened was a crime. But I don't think that the fact that they ran away means they were guilty of something or that they planned.
I just don't understand. I don't understand it either way. If there was intent to unalive her, then why would you do it in front of a bunch of people? So that's one thing I don't understand. But criminals are stupid anyway, so there's that. But on the flip side, if it is just negligence, I don't understand how none of y'all seen that she wasn't attached to the rope. It's called rope jumping. The main ingredient for the whole process is the rope. How do you not know or see or just secure the rope to the person? That's what's fucking me up.
Because
Right.
they didn't do it and run away rightly as it was planned. They just ran away.
Yeah.
They were in shock.
And
It's a
again, I
rope.
mentioned that's what one of the defense attorneys had said. Just let me ask you, how is it possible this happened? I mean, you watch the video and they seem to be carrying her. It seems very clear she's not buckled in. It seems very clear there's no rope. You arguably see the rope on the ground all tangled up. How is it possible they would fail to secure her? How does something like this happen?
It's very hard to believe that this would happen the way it did. At the same time, I panicked when I saw the video because I was like, you can see that she's not secured. Stop.
Exactly.
People screamed.
Bro.
People shouted. She doesn't have a rope. Stop.
And then the person in the back took a couple of steps back. Like, okay, the person in the front, he can't see that the rope, because it looks like the rope was supposed to be tied like to her abdomen, not her abdomen, but that part of her body, that's where the hook is and that's where it's supposed to be attached to, right? He can't see that. Not saying he's innocent or guilty, but he can't see that. This person has a view where he should be able to see that the rope is not attached to her. This person has a bigger view to see that the rope is not attached to her. And then he has even more of a bigger POV
Here,
because
probably
he
because
steps
they're
back.
accustomed to always hearing people shouting when they're doing this and they can't get distracted or they'll hurt the person. But at the same
not
time,
buying
it's
it.
hard to believe that something like this would happen.
Yeah. So the federal government the municipality, the city, may be filing a legal action against the federal government, right? That they say they were negligent. They
And if it was intent, my question is why? Like, what is the reason for doing this? If it's negligence, my question is, how did you not see that a thick ass rope was not attached to a person during rope jumping? None of this shit makes any sense.
been properly securing this bridge. No one should have had access to it. Where do you see that going? Is this going to be a lawsuit? Is this a strong lawsuit? Talk to me about what you think there.
I think it is a strong lawsuit because the bridge is actually the responsibility of the federal government, so they should have secured the bridge. But they weren't the only ones who were responsible for it. Any authority that is related to the security of the city could have done that. Not only the federal government, they should have all done it. But when it comes to discussing responsibility, I think it's very clear that it falls under the federal government in this case.
What would happen if they sue them? It goes to, I imagine, a trial. What's the result? What is the federal government, if they lose, what do they have to do? Do they pay fines? Do they?
Yes.
I mean, is that what happens? The federal government pays fines to the city?
Yes, probably a fine. Probably
Okay.
a fine or indemnization.
Do they have to, make a change? Do they have to secure the bridge? Do they have to tear it down? Do they
Yes.
have to make sure nobody has access to it?
Yes, that should have already been done.
Okay. One more question before I let you go. So apparently, Maria Eduarda had a camera. There's some reporting that it might have been a GoPro. Authorities can't find it. I don't know if you've seen something new about that. If they find the footage, if they find the camera and they get the footage, why is that so important? How does that affect the case?
That depends on what's going to be found on that footage. If she tried to stop it, because in the
Right.
recording we don't hear her
No
saying
audio.
stop. But if that camera shows that she asked to stop, that she said anything to try to stop what was going on, that would show that they knew that she was unsecured. But I think that's very unlikely.
Yeah. Look, I'm thinking if you could loudly hear people saying, she has no rope, she's not
Right.
secured, she has no rope, she's not secure, and they allegedly threw her over that edge, that is important for intent. But again, we're in the early stages of this. We'll see where this goes. This is a tragic, tragic situation. It is so awful, that video. It is terrible to think about what she went through. It is terrible to think about what her and her family and her friends have to experience right now. On top of what you said at the beginning, commentary from people about Maria Eduarda is just awful.
Yeah, that's
Andrea
fucked
Libarca,
up.
thank you
Who the
so
fuck
much for coming on. I really
does
appreciate it.
that? No
Thank you, Jesse.
respect
Thank you for having me.
whatsoever. Let's look at the comments. I shall continue to be boring and unadventurous. Like, it's just certain things that I don't think that humans should be really doing, but everyone's their own person. Everyone does, there's things out there like rope jumping, bungee jumping, skydiving. Everyone has a right to want to experience those things. But me personally, I couldn't do that. I've always wanted to try skydiving to get rid of my fear of heights. But when like not even just I don't know, man. I just don't think that we're meant to as humans that we're meant to do certain things like this because of the risk. Unfortunately, this was a tragic risk. Like who would have thought that going rope jumping that you could possibly that they wouldn't attach you to the rope? Like who would have thought that that was a possibility? Like, yeah, there's other possibilities of things going wrong, but this specific incident is crazy. Like, who would have thought, man? They literally had one job. This shit don't make any fucking sense. And out of three of them, no one remembered right. They attach a rope to themselves though. Exactly. Like that's it's a lot of holes in this investigation, but then there's things that just kind of point to that there was intent. I just don't understand why they would want to unalive her. But I don't understand why criminals do what they do anyways. And, allegedly, I don't want to just throw the word out there that they're criminals, but until we know for sure and get to the bottom of this, I believe that the video that she took, that once they find that camera in that video, is going to tell everything. It's going to show everything from her point of view, and you'll be able to actually hear the audio of what happened. You would be able to hear that. But just by looking at it, it don't look good at all. It doesn't look like it was negligence at all. What the fuck were these guys thinking? There's a reason they're professionals who protocols. I can't even imagine a madness. Exactly. Apparently she didn't under what? Okay. Alright, anything. Yes, all three of them. What are the odds? All forgot the safety cable. I believe there's at least 6 people charged. 6 detained, 3 charged. My guess is they got carried away with the Superman pose that they forgot protocol. Literally, all it takes is one time where they take the gas off the pedals. The gas off the pedals. Meaning they stopped focusing on their job at hand and got complacent. I don't know about that. How did these people not see? That's what I'm saying. A thick ass rope, the one thing that you need for this to go to work. The one thing is the rope. You got the helmet, okay, but what about the rope? Like how the fuck you forget the rope? Even with the rope, this activity looks like it caused damage to the body. I think so too. The effect makes everything so much, yeah. My stomach dropped when they said that she was still alive after that because oh, I feel so bad, bro. Like I can't imagine the type of pain that she must have been in after that. God rest her soul. Please, God rest her soul. She didn't deserve any of this. She didn't. She just she wanted to go on a venture. She wanted to have fun like any other person. God rest her soul. That's crazy that she was still alive, which means that she felt all of that. Like, I'm so sorry for the pain she must have been in. Like, oh my gosh. That's super heartbreaking. I really, really hope she was in shock and didn't feel anything. Oh my gosh. Who was present rushed to her aid, and I hope she was in a oh my gosh. I'm sure she felt, oh man. The full video pans over to the edge of the bridge and shows her, but it's out there. Someone said it was visible that the full video from her on the ground afterwards, just helmet off, which could indicate I say she's bleeding. Oh, the fact that the video was uploaded tells me that this was a plot. So where's the footage of where's her GoPro at? She said something about unsettled. Wow. What uh, right with the rope. They've been doing a lot of people are jumping for a lot of videos. Because even when I seen like the little clips they had in the beginning of like someone rope jumping, see if I can find it. Like that just doesn't look safe.
Horizontal pendulum swing at the very end. According to 30UL Anos, only bungee jumping has a protocol that's registered with
Like that stuff it looks scary, to say the least. Because anything can go wrong. Anything. No, I feel so bad for her, man. Damn. All right, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about the video. God rest her soul. I hope she rests in peace. Um, and I hope that her family could find some peace too, and her friends and everyone who knew her. I hope they find some peace as well. This is a tragic, fucked up situation, and I guess we'll see what happens later. We'll see if you know, what their charges are going to be. We'll see what the jury is going to say. This happened recently, so this is going to be something going on for years before we find out what their judgment is going to be. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the video. Talk to you guys soon.